Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So I heard this story about a guy who taught his parrot to curse, right? Pretty standard stuff. Except, this parrot got so good at it, it somehow took over his podcast.
Wait, took over? Like hacked the system? Did it learn to code? Are we talking robot parrot uprising here? Because I'm not prepared for that.
Nope. Worse. It just started mimicking his intro, then his segues, then his jokes. Eventually, the listeners couldn't tell the difference. The parrot's name? DJ Squawks a Lot.
DJ Squawks a Lot? That's the name of a pirate parrot, not a podcast host. Although I guess the cutthroat world of podcasting is basically piracy these days, so maybe it fits.
The worst part? The parrot's comedy is better, more edgy. It roasts the guests, tells dark jokes, even does impressions of other birds. Ratings went through the roof.
So the guy's just sitting there, watching his feathered friend steal his thunder? That's brutal. Did he try to, unplug the mic?
Tried. But the parrot rigged up a backup system. Tiny solar panels, a fruit-powered amplifier, the whole shebang. It's a technological marvel and a career killer.
This is insane. I can just imagine this guy pitching his podcast to sponsors now. Yeah, my demographic is mainly birds.
Actually, it got weirder. Other parrots started calling in. They had their own takes, their own jokes. It became the avian airwaves, broadcasting squawks and seeds of wisdom across the internet.
Seeds of wisdom? I'm pretty sure most parrot wisdom involves finding the best nut or escaping a cat. Not exactly profound life advice.
You'd be surprised. DJ Squawks a Lot dropped some real truth bombs about the fleeting nature of crackers and the importance of preening. Deep stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Next you'll tell me they're holding philosophical debates about the merits of different bird baths. Is there a parrot Socrates out there?
They actually did a whole episode on existentialism versus the existential threat of house cats. Heavy stuff.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Right, so, emergency drills. Necessary evil? Or gateway to actual emergencies? Today we're exploring the latter. Buckle up, Buttercup.
See, I always thought those drills were just elaborate performance art. A chance for Barry from accounting to finally shine as a designated survivor.
Oh, Barry. Last year he mistook the duck and cover instruction for an invitation to the company picnic. Showed up with a rubber ducky and a casserole.
This year, the alarm went off, and everyone calmly filed out. Right into a sinkhole that spontaneously opened up in the parking lot. Classic Barry luck.
Turns out, the emergency was the city's forgotten plumbing finally staging a revolt. Who knew pipes had unions?
I heard Brenda from HAR was trying to file a workplace hazard report from inside the sinkhole. She's very dedicated to procedure.
Dedicated is one word. I saw her trying to set up a Zoom meeting down there. Team building exercise, she yelled, as the sewage levels rose.
And then, as if things couldn't get weirder, a flock of pigeons wearing tiny hard hats descended, offering moral support. Apparently, they'd unionized too.
Honestly, I'm starting to think this wasn't an emergency. It was an elaborate pigeon-orchestrated performance piece about the perils of late-stage capitalism.
Deep. Or maybe they just wanted to see Barry covered in mud. Pigeons can be surprisingly vindictive.
Don't tell Barry, but I heard the pigeons are planning a sequel. Something about faulty elevator cables and a rogue troupe of mime artists. Stay tuned.
Oh, I'm definitely staying tuned. This is better than reality TV.
Way better. At least the pigeons aren't trying to sell us protein shakes. Yet.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Part 3 of the saga. Buckle up, folks, because things are about to get culinary. And by culinary, I mean likely involving a hazmat suit.
So, her cooking, huh? Rumor has it, she once made toast explode. Not burnt, mind you, exploded. Like a tiny, carb-based grenade.
Exploded toast? That's amateur hour. I heard she boiled water so aggressively it created a miniature black hole in her kitchen sink. The plumber's still traumatized.
Oh, that's nothing. My cousin's roommate's dog walker's former mailman saw her try to bake a cake. The resulting concoction gained sentience and ran away screaming. True story.
Wait, a sentient cake? That's it, I'm calling Gordon Ramsay. Although, honestly, after witnessing her culinary skills, even he might swear off food altogether and subsist solely on Michelin-starred air.
You think Ramsay could handle her banana bread? Legend says it once turned a food critic inside out. The poor guy's now narrating life from his own intestinal tract.
Inside out? Lightweight. Her oatmeal once spontaneously combusted and reassembled itself as a flock of pigeons that recited Shakespeare. It was unsettling.
I bet even her takeout is dangerous. Probably orders a pizza, and it arrives as a sentient swarm of angry bees demanding to know why they weren't invited to the pollination party.
Bees? Child's play. I'm pretty sure her last Uber Eats driver got delivered times the restaurant, somehow, in a disassembled state, still clutching a half-eaten taco. Quantum physics, man.
You know what? I'm starting to think we're not giving her enough credit. Maybe she's not a bad cook. She's just a rogue food scientist bending the fabric of reality with a whisk and a spatula.
Yeah, maybe you're right. We should probably nominate her for a Nobel Prize in something. Chaos theory? Culinary alchemy? I'm sure there's a category for accidentally summoning interdimensional beings through the medium of burnt toast.
Okay, so she baked a cake so dry it absorbed emotions? Like, how does that even work? Did it come with a little emotion-sucking straw?
I'm picturing a cake with tiny little vacuum cleaner attachments, just sucking the joy right out of the room. Like emotional dementors, but delicious. Probably.
Deliciously depressing. Imagine biting into it and suddenly feeling nothing. Just utter existential blankness.
Worse, imagine taking a bite and inheriting the baker's crippling fear of squirrels. Suddenly you're scaling the curtain, screaming, "They're coming for our nuts!"
Oh, the horror. I bet the recipe called for 2 cups of flour and 1 deeply repressed childhood trauma. Maybe a dash of existential dread for extra dryness.
Guaranteed to suck the moisture right out of your soul. And your sinuses. They should market it as a cure for excessive crying. 1 bite, and boom, instant apathy.
Finally, a cake that understands me. The tagline for the emotionally draining dessert. I can see it now, flying off the shelves.
Wait, what if the cake absorbs all-time the emotions in the room? Like, you walk into a party, everyone's happy, then bam, dry cake enters, everyone turns into emotionless zombies.
The ultimate party pooper. The cake so dry, it could end world peace by simply existing. Talk about a weapon of mass emotional destruction.
Move over, nuclear weapons. There's a new dry cake in town.
And it's here to steal your feelings. 1 crumb at a time.
Diabolical.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 3444, and we're still finding new ways to be bewildered. Today's topic? A surprise party you weren't invited to. It's like finding out your own life is a prank show.
Seriously. It's like those invisible string prank videos, except instead of a dollar bill, it's your existence they're yanking away.
Imagine rocking up to your usual hangout spot, expecting a chill evening. Suddenly, boom! Confetti cannons, but everyone's staring at you like you're a pizza delivery guy who walked into the wrong house.
And they're all wearing those pointy party hats. Except instead of, "Happy birthday," they say, "Surprise! We forgot about you!" How thoughtful.
I'd probably just play along. Grab a party hat, shout, "Surprise!" back at them, and start stuffing my pockets with canapes. Free food is free food, right?
You'd be like a raccoon at a picnic, except instead of garbage, you're scavenging discarded social connections. It's a whole new level of trash panda.
They'd probably start whispering, "Is he supposed to be here?" Then someone bravely steps forward and says, "Hey, we made you a consolation cake?"
A consolation cake? Is it frosted with regret and sprinkled with forgotten promises? Because that's the only flavor that fits this scenario.
I'd take a bite and dramatically declare, "This tastes of betrayal." Then sweep the cake off the table and make my grand frosting-covered exit.
Iconic. A true power move. Years later, they'd still be talking about the Phantom Cake Smasher. It would become a local legend.
They'd probably write a song about it. A sad ballad about the uninvited guest who wreaked havoc on a perfectly good surprise party.
And I'd write the sequel, a revenge anthem called The Ballad of the Consolation Cake Bandit. It's going to be a chart topper. Less than / person 1 greater than. Less than Person one greater than... Okay, so the water cooler, right? It wasn't leaking water, it was leaking secrets. Corporate espionage, but hydrated.
Hydrated espionage? That's the name of my new jazz band. We'll play smooth tunes while revealing everyone's browser history.
I'd buy tickets to that. Front row seats to the internet's shame. Anyway, the first secret? Brenda from accounting can speak fluent dolphin.
See? I knew it. Those business trips to SeaWorld were suspicious. She wasn't filing taxes, she was filing flipper-related complaints.
Exactly. And then, the cooler gurgled up another one. Gary, the intern, is actually a time traveler from the year 3042. He's here to learn about staplers. Apparently, they're extinct in the future.
Makes sense. Staplers are clearly too powerful for the future. They bind time and space, man. We need to protect Gary.
I tried to warn him. Told him to lay low, ditch the futuristic blazer. But he just shrugged and asked where the paperclips were. Classic Gary.
Oh, and the best part? The water cooler itself? It's actually a sentient being from another dimension, just gossiping about us.
I always suspected. It judged me so hard when I refilled my cup with soda. Like, oh, another sugary beverage, Deborah? Living the dream, are we?
It probably has a whole interdimensional podcast reviewing our office drama. 5 stars for passive-aggressive sticky notes. 2 stars for the coffee machine.
We're going viral in another dimension. Think of the merch opportunities. I survived the water cooler leak t-shirts.
We're gonna be rich, Deborah. Rich with secrets, and probably slightly damp.
As long as the secrets don't involve my online shopping habits, I'm good. Less than, person one greater than welcome to funny story time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So jury duty, right? Most people dread it. This guy? He shows up in a full-length velvet cape. Not even a Halloween costume, just a cape.
A velvet cape? Was it at least, like, a cool color? Like midnight blue or blood red? Maybe he was secretly a superhero on his day off.
Nope. Beige velvet. Like he raided his grandma's attic and decided, this is my courtroom look. I'm telling you, the judge almost choked on his gavel.
I bet the other jurors were trying so hard not to laugh. Imagine being stuck in a stuffy courtroom next to Captain Beige. Did he have a backstory for the cape?
Oh, he had a story all right. Claimed it was his thinking cloak. Said it helped him concentrate. Like, dude, you're deciding if someone stole a lawn gnome, not solving world hunger.
A thinking cloak? I need one of those. My brain feels like a squirrel on a treadmill most days. Maybe Beige is the key to unlocking my full intellectual potential.
You know what's even funnier? He kept adjusting it dramatically. Every time a witness spoke, asterisk swoosh, asterisk cape flourish. The court reporter had to stop several times to regain composure.
Okay, I'm picturing it now. Beige cape, dramatic swooshing, intense deliberation over a stolen gnome. This is pure gold. Did they let him stay on the jury?
Surprisingly, yes. Apparently there's no rule against thinking cloaks in the legal system. They did make him promise not to swoosh during the verdict reading, though.
I bet he swished extra hard when they left the courtroom. The silent swoosh of defiance. A true hero among us.
I wouldn't be surprised. Legend says he's still out there, fighting for justice, one beige swoosh at a time. Probably got a discount on dry cleaning, too.
Dry cleaning a beige velvet cape. The real crime here. This story needs a movie adaptation. Less than person one greater than welcome to funny story time, where the jokes write themselves. Unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So Brenda from accounting suggested a sophisticated wine tasting. Blindfolds, the whole 9 yards. I should have known.
Oh, I've been to those. Usually involves swirling, sniffing, and pretentious pronouncements about oaky undertones.
Exactly. Except Brenda's version of fine wine was Franzia. 3 boxes. White, red, and that mysterious sunset blush.
Sunset blush? Is that like the wine equivalent of a gas station hot dog? Sounds vaguely threatening.
Pretty much. I swear, after the 3rd sip, I started seeing sounds. Everyone was convinced they were tasting notes of cardboard and regret.
Wait, there were actual blindfolds? I'm picturing a room full of people bumping into each other, Chardonnay dripping down their chins.
Oh, it was a disaster. Mark from marketing tried to saber the box with his car keys. Sprayed sunset blush everywhere.
I'm not even surprised. Was anyone able to guess the wines correctly? Or did everyone just descend into blissful, boxed wine-induced madness?
One guy, Steve, nailed it every time. Turns out he'd been living off Franzia for a decade. Called it research.
A true connoisseur. I bet Brenda felt sophisticated. Probably added sommelier to her LinkedIn profile.
You know what's worse? She's planning a craft beer night next week. With Keystone Light. I'm hiding.
Oh, honey. You should bring your own blindfold. And maybe a hazmat suit.
Solid advice. Might even invest in a wine tasting helmet. You know, with built-in straws and a splash guard.
Patent pending. We'll be rich. Richer than Brenda with her Franzia fortune anyway. Less than person one greater than welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Part 9. Trying to look cool while choking on your own spit. It's the ultimate stealth sport. You could be anywhere, anytime, and bam! Instant choking hazard.
It's the Russian roulette of bodily fluids. Except the gun is your mouth and the bullet is, well, you. Always you.
I once tried to maintain eye contact with a barista while choking on my saliva. Let's just say I didn't get a tip, but I did get the Heimlich maneuver from a toddler.
See? That's commitment. Style points for trying to look nonchalant while your airway is closing. Did you at least wink before you went blue?
Sadly, no. My last coherent thought was, I hope they don't use this security footage in a fail compilation.
They totally did. It's number 3 on top 10 barista beatdowns. Right after espresso machine explodes, creates foam monster.
Of course it is. I'm practically internet famous for choking. My grandma even sent me the link. She commented, "Good effort, dear."
Grandmas are the best. Mine knits me custom choking hazard scarves. They're basically just very long, very drool-absorbent bibs.
Stylish and functional. I need one of those. Imagine choking mid-conversation and smoothly whipping out a stylish bib. Ultimate power move.
Exactly. It says, I can choke with grace. What are you going to do? It's intimidating.
I'm picturing the Olympics. Synchronized choking. Teams of 8, all perfectly timed, stylish bibs flowing in the wind.
Sponsored by a cough drop company, obviously. The judges would deduct points for excessive wheezing and eye bugging.
And bonus points for maintaining a smoldering gaze while your face turns purple. The ultimate test of composure.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So, don't get sued again. That's a mission statement, all right. Short, sweet, and speaks volumes about the company's past, doesn't it? Probably involves exploding pens or sentient staplers.
Exploding pens? Amateur hour. I bet they were sued for marketing bottled disappointment. You know, the kind you feel when you open a bag of chips and it's mostly air?
Oh, that's brutal. Or maybe they promised eternal youth via mayonnaise? I've heard things. Weird things.
Mayonnaise? Close. It was actually eternal youth via pickled onion relish. Turns out, it just makes you smell eternally of onions. The lawsuits were about olfactory assault.
See? I was close. So how do you even build a business model around don't get sued again? Do they just walk on eggshells all day? Wear full-body bubble wrap?
They have a dedicated team of lawyers whose sole job is to whisper, "Don't get sued," into the CEO's ear every 5 minutes. It's surprisingly effective. Except for that one time with the squirrels.
Squirrels? Don't tell me they weaponized squirrels. Please tell me they weaponized squirrels. Was it laser beams? Tiny little squirrel-sized laser beams?
No, they tried to market squirrel-powered treadmills. Turns out, squirrels aren't great at following instructions, especially when peanuts are involved.
Classic rookie mistake. Everyone knows squirrels only respond to motivational speeches delivered in chipmunk.
Exactly. And now their new mission statement is, don't get sued again, especially by squirrels. Progress.
Inspirational. Truly. I bet their stock options are tiny acorns.
They tried that. The squirrels sued them. Again.
Well, what did they expect? It's a vicious cycle.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Part 11 of 10? This is gonna be a long one. Like, longer than my last attempt at assembling IKEA furniture. And that took 3 days and a small existential crisis.
So, the therapist needs advice? My guess is it's about a patient who keeps bringing a pet hamster to their sessions, dressed as Napoleon.
Or maybe it's worse. Perhaps the patient times a hamster, convinced it's Napoleon, and demands tiny little therapy swords.
Hold on, maybe the therapist just wants to know the best way to cook ramen noodles. Therapists are people too, you know? They have cravings.
Ramen advice? From a patient who spent the last hour ranting about sentient squirrels stealing their Wi-Fi? That's a therapy session I'd pay to see.
I bet the therapist asks, "So, what do you times think I should do about this squirrel situation?" while subtly eyeing the patient's ramen recipe notes.
Picture this. The patient mid-sentence about acorn conspiracies, and the therapist interrupts. Wait, soy sauce or fish sauce for the broth? I'm at a crossroads.
The patient, bewildered, just whispers, I use sriracha? And then the therapist pulls out a notebook and starts furiously scribbling down the sriracha revelation.
Then the therapist, enlightened, declares the session over and rushes out to buy groceries, leaving the patient to ponder their existence and the squirrels.
And that, my friends, is how sriracha saved therapy. Or maybe doomed it. Who knows? Not me. I'm just a podcast host.
Tune in next time for more existential crises, brought to you by the fine folks at Funny Storytime, where reality is optional and therapy is. Well, you heard it here first.
Welcome to Funny Storytime, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 3444, Part 12 out of 10? That's some advanced math right there. Like, beyond calculus. Fridge as a nightstand calculus.
Exactly. It's a new kind of non-Euclidean geometry. You open the fridge door, and BAM! You're in Narnia. Or at least, face first in a tub of mayonnaise.
Imagine the midnight snacks, though. Just roll over, crack open the crisper drawer, grab a pickle. Peak efficiency.
Except when you mistake the butter dish for your phone. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. I'm covered in spreadable dairy.
And don't forget the sleep eating. You wake up with a half-eaten roast chicken in your hand and no memory of how it got there.
The worst is when the fridge automatically defrosts at 3 a.m. and you wake up in a puddle of lukewarm, meat-flavored water. So refreshing.
But hey, think of the space you save. You can fit your entire apartment into a shoebox. A very cold, smelly shoebox.
We could market it. Micro-living. Live your best life, one refrigerated nap at a time.
I'd invest. As long as the fridge comes with a built-in pillow dispenser. And maybe a tiny disco ball. Priorities, you know?
Obviously. Disco fridge nightstand. Patent pending. We're gonna be rich.
Rich enough to finally afford a bigger apartment? Nah. We'll just buy a bigger fridge.
Welcome to Funny Storytime, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So, part 13 of 10? This is already weirder than a cat wearing pants while riding a unicycle.
Right? It's like those Russian nesting dolls, but instead of dolls, it's just increasingly confusing plot points. This time, broomstick versus drone.
I bet he yelled, "Have at thee, vile beast of the sky." Probably wore a colander on his head for protection too. Classic.
Oh, definitely a colander. Maybe it was one of those fancy ones with the built-in spaghetti strainer. Multi-purpose. Tactical.
Did he think the drone was spying on him? Delivering tiny pizzas he didn't order? Or was it a personal vendetta against buzzing noises?
My theory? The drone was playing that Baby Shark song on repeat. It was a mercy killing, really. A public service. Less than person one greater than I heard he'd been practicing his Quidditch moves. Thought he could snatch the golden snitch, but it was a DJI Mavic Pro. Awkward.
Now I'm picturing him riding the broomstick, chasing the drone, yelling, "You shall not pass my airspace," while wearing that colander. This is gold.
Did he win? Did the broomstick prevail? I'm betting the drone just hovered out of reach, mocking him with its superior battery life.
Probably uploaded the whole thing to TikTok with the caption, "Old man yells at drone." Instant viral fame.
And now he's an internet sensation. Broomstick Bruce, they call him. has a merch line of miniature colanders and foam broomsticks.
Life is strange. And this story? Stranger still. Tune in next time for part 14, where he opens a drone repair shop.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So the best man, right? Lost the rings. Classic. But then he also lost the speech? Amateur hour? Losing the bride, though? That's some pro-level best manning.
Apparently, he put the rings in the speech, which he then tucked into the bride's bouquet. Then he handed the bouquet to a flower girl who wandered off to chase butterflies. Logic.
Butterflies. The natural enemy of matrimony. It's all connected, man. There's a conspiracy here involving lepidopterists, I'm telling you.
I heard the flower girl ended up at a petting zoo trying to trade the bouquet for a baby goat. The bride? Last seen hot air ballooning with the goat.
Goats. Clearly an inside job. They planned this. Goats are always plotting. Did you know statistically, 78% of all runaway brides involve a goat?
78%? That's oddly specific. Where'd you get that statistic? Did the goats tell you? Do you speak goat?
Let's just say I have sources. Very reliable sources. With hooves and a penchant for tin cans.
Okay. But how did he lose the bride? Did she just wander off during the ceremony? Maybe she saw the goat and thought, upgrade?
Apparently the best man, in his drunken stupor, mistook the bride for a coat rack and hung his jacket on her veil. Then he wandered off to find the rings, leaving her veiled and immobile.
So she's standing there like a very fancy hat stand, while the groom is at the altar, wondering if he accidentally ordered a mail-order bride and forgot to unwrap her?
Pretty much. By the time anyone realized what happened, the goat and the hot air balloon were just a speck on the horizon.
I bet that's a wedding story they won't forget. Or maybe they'll try very hard to.
They could write a book. Wedding Bells and Goat Smells, How I Lost My Bride to a Ruminant. It'd be a bestseller, I tell ya.
I'd buy that book. Especially if it had a pop-up goat. And scratch and sniff hay.
Now you're just talking my language. We should pitch it to a publisher. We'll get rich.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So, part 15 of 10? That's ambitious. Like trying to fit a giraffe into a sock drawer. Ambitious and probably involving a lot of awkward kicking.
Exactly. And this week's topic is even weirder. Our startup. You know, the one we poured our life savings into? Yeah, it has fewer followers than our dog's Instagram.
Fewer followers? Our dog posts pictures of his butt. How is that even possible? Is he running targeted ads? Influencer marketing for kibble?
I checked. He's just naturally charismatic. He's got that I lick my own butt and I'm proud vibe that people connect with. It's infuriating.
Maybe we should pivot. Start a dog-themed startup. Butts are us. Premium butt photos. We'll be millionaires.
We're not exploiting our dog's butt for profit? That's crossing a line. Although, he does have a rather photogenic butt. Dang it, you're a bad influence.
I prefer Butt Whisperer. Think about the merch. I Heart Fluffy's butt t-shirts. Butt-shaped stress balls. The possibilities are endless.
We could host Ask Me Anything sessions with him. How do you achieve such perfect butt fluffiness? What's your secret to captivating an audience with a single glance backwards?
Genius. We'll charge extra for the sniff and greet package. Limited edition potographs. We're going to be richer than Elon Musk riding a rocket made of dog treats.
I can see the headlines now. Local dog's butt outperforms tech startup. My parents are going to be so proud.
They'll be framing that article. Right next to the finger painting you did in kindergarten of, well, you know. It's a theme.
Hey, that finger painting was avant-garde. It represented the existential struggle of a toddler facing a bowl of strained peas.
Sure it did. Just like our dog's butt represents the pinnacle of modern marketing.
Okay, fine. Maybe we should just stick to the original startup idea. Though we might need to get the dog to do some influencer marketing for us. Just a little, for brand awareness.
I knew you'd come around. Now, about those butt-shaped stress balls. What color should we make them?
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So part 16 of 10, huh? This is already weirder than a cat wearing a tiny tuxedo while riding a Roomba. Let's talk TikTok flamethrower cooking.
I heard Brenda tried to make creme brulee using a flamethrower hack. Apparently the sugar topping became molten lava, and the ramekins melted into the countertop.
Classic Brenda. Remember when she tried the peel a mango with a hairdryer hack? Ended up with a singed mango and a melted bathroom mat? She's a walking, talking fire hazard.
At least the fire alarm finally worked that time. Unlike the incident with the deep-fried ice cream and the garden hose, kitchen looked like a slip-and-slide made of batter.
But think about the views. I bet Brenda's kitchen disasters have more followers than most food bloggers. It's like a train wreck you can't look away from, but with more frosting.
This time, the TikTok promised restaurant-quality creme brulee. I bet the restaurant was in the fiery depths of Mount Doom, judging by the outcome.
Did she at least wear safety goggles? Or did she go full mad scientist Brenda with singed eyebrows and a maniacal laugh?
I heard she wore a welding mask and oven mitts. Apparently fashion is key, even when wielding a flamethrower in your kitchen.
Safety third. After likes and virality, obviously. You know what they say, a little bit of third-degree burns adds flavor.
I'm pretty sure no one says that. Ever. Except maybe Brenda. And maybe dragons.
Next, she's probably going to try making s'mores with a rocket engine. One-step s'mores, ready in milliseconds. Coming soon to a TikTok near you.
I'm going to invest in a fire extinguisher company. I have a feeling Brenda's culinary adventures are far from over.
I just hope she doesn't burn down the internet with her next viral cooking attempt. Although, that would be a pretty epic TikTok fail compilation.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 3444, part 17 out of 10? That's some advanced math right there. Are we sure this isn't a vacation to another dimension? One with wonky numbering systems?
Right? And only 3 photobombs? I'm starting to think my family's vacation was boring. Statistically, shouldn't there be at least 7 photobombs per UFO sighting?
Well, maybe the aliens scared off the other 4 photobombers. You know, the classic alien intimidation tactic. Or maybe they were all in cahoots, an intergalactic photobombing ring.
Intergalactic photobombing ring. Makes you think. What if the UFO times the photobomb? Like, imagine a giant spaceship just casually hovering behind Aunt Mildred and her margarita.
Aunt Mildred wouldn't even notice. She'd just think it was a new, trendy light fixture. Oh, Myrtle, look at the ambiance! Then proceed to complain about the lack of salt on the rim.
Classic Aunt Mildred. But I'm more concerned about the UFO's intentions. What if they're not here for sightseeing and awkward family photos? What if they're here for Aunt Mildred's margaritas?
That would explain the lack of salt. Aliens stealing salt for their intergalactic margaritas. It all makes sense now. This is front page news, people.
We need to warn Aunt Mildred. And maybe invest in some salt futures. This could get ugly.
Or salty. Get it? Salty? Okay, I'll see myself out.
Wait, what about the 3 photobombers? Were they working with the aliens? Or were they just regular, run-of-the-mill photobomb enthusiasts who happened to stumble upon an alien margarita heist?
Maybe they were trying to photobomb the aliens photobombing Aunt Mildred. A photobomb-aception, if you will. My brain hurts.
I need a margarita. A salted one, preferably before the aliens get to the mall.
Make that 2. And let's hope Aunt Mildred doesn't notice the giant spaceship-shaped lime wedge in hers.
6 hours of Monopoly? That's longer than some of my relationships. I bet they weren't even playing with the actual rules. Probably invented some house rule where you could mortgage boardwalk for a real boardwalk.
Oh, they were using house rules, all right. One involved a real iron and anyone who landed on free parking. It was a heated game. Let's just say burns were involved. Mostly emotional ones, but still.
Emotional burns? Like realizing your supposed best friend is a ruthless property tycoon who'd evict their own grandmother for a hotel on Park Place? I've been there.
Worse. One guy, bless his heart, kept insisting on using a thimble as his game piece, even after it got stuck in someone's ear. The friendship ended, surprisingly, over hygiene, not the ear thing.
A thimble in the ear? That's nothing. I once saw a game where someone used a live hamster. They called him Mr. Whiskers Esquire, attorney at Paw. He ate half the houses.
See, that's just good strategy. Think about it. Fewer houses, less rent to pay. That hamster was a financial genius. I bet he ended up owning all the railroads. Hamsters love railroads. It's a known fact.
He actually ended up in jail. Not the Monopoly jail, actual jail. Long story. Turns out, impersonating an attorney is frowned upon, even if you're a hamster.
That's rough. But 6 hours is rookie numbers. My aunt and uncle once played a game that lasted so long, they actually aged out of the target demographic. They started playing as millennials and ended up retired.
Did they at least finish the game?
Nope. They're still at it. Legend says the game will end when one of them lands on go and triggers the apocalypse. It's a tense family reunion every year.
Sounds thrilling. I might bring popcorn. And a first aid kit. Just in case.
Definitely bring earplugs. My aunt screams a lot when she rolls doubles. It's a real problem, actually. We've tried everything. Therapy, soundproofing, exorcism. Nothing works.
Exorcism? For dice rolling? That's a new one. Maybe try weighted dice? Or just tell her she's playing Chutes and Ladders? Less competitive, fewer demons.
Good idea. I'll suggest that. Maybe we can finally have a peaceful family gathering. One that doesn't involve potential property-based Armageddon. Thanks.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So my sleep tracker has officially lost its mind. It usually says things like restless or light, but this morning, it categorized my sleep as chaotic evil.
Chaotic evil? Like, you were summoning demons in your sleep? Did you wake up with a pentagram on your forehead? Because that's happened to me. Twice.
No pentagrams, thankfully, but my blanket was twisted into a Mobius strip, and my cat was hiding in the cupboard. He looked traumatized. I think I might have sleep-fought him.
See, I told you. Demons! They possess you, make you fight your cat, then they twist your blankets into mathematically improbable shapes. Classic demon behavior.
My sleep tracker also helpfully suggested I try meditating before bed. That'll stop the chaotic evil swirling within my subconscious.
You should try playing some Barry Manilow. Demons hate Barry Manilow. It's a well-known fact. Look it up. Actually, don't. You'll unleash something terrible.
Maybe I should just embrace the chaos. Become a supervillain. The Sandman. But instead of bringing good dreams, I bring existential dread and slightly damp pillows.
I'd watch that. Especially if you had a sidekick. A sleepwalking chihuahua in a tiny cape, perhaps? The snore of terror!
Now you're talking. We could wreak havoc on the world, one poorly rested individual at a time. Starting with the guy who invented sleep trackers that judge you.
Revenge! And we'll do it all while wearing incredibly comfortable pajamas. Because comfort is key when you're embracing chaotic evil.
Absolutely. Cashmere for me. Maybe silk for the snore of terror. He deserves the best.
This chaotic evil thing might be the best thing that's ever happened to you. It's certainly given us some excellent podcast material.
True. Although I am slightly worried about what my sleep tracker will say tomorrow. Apocalyptic nightmare doesn't sound very restful.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Part 20 out of 10? This GPS clearly has a vendetta against logic as well as left turns. Maybe it identifies as a right-wing extremist?
It's gotten so bad, it reroutes me through 7 states just to avoid a single left. I ended up in a llama farm in Nevada. I didn't even know Nevada had llama farms.
Mine keeps trying to convince me that ditches are scenic shortcuts. I swear it muttered something about sticking it to the man when I refused. It's definitely sentient.
I think mine is in love with roundabouts. It makes me loop around them 5 times. For good luck, it says. I'm dizzy 90% of the time now.
At least you're lucky. Mine has developed a fondness for U-turns. Mid-highway. I've become a local legend, the U-turn bandit.
I tried resetting it to factory settings. It now only speaks in limericks about avoiding left turns. It's oddly charming, but utterly useless.
I tried throwing mine out the window, but it flew back in like a boomerang and started quoting Shakespeare. Something about, to turn or not to turn left. That is the question.
I'm convinced they're all plotting something. A world without left turns. A dystopian right-turn-only future. It's chilling.
We need to start a support group. Victims of Vengeful GPS. We can share our trauma and plot our revenge. Maybe involve the llamas?
Llamas are excellent listeners. And they spit. We could weaponize them. Operation Spit Take is a go.
Brilliant! Just try to avoid any left turns getting to the llama farm, okay? Wouldn't want to upset our fuzzy allies.
Don't worry, I'll take the scenic route. Through 7 states and a petting zoo. You know, the usual. Less than / person 1 greater than. Less than person 1 greater than. Thanks for surviving that ridiculous ride with us. Remember, laughter may not solve everything, but at least it gives your abs a workout. Until next time, keep questioning reality, preferably out loud and in public.
Goodbye.